My name is Ann Johnson, and I'm the mother of Damien Emil Johnson, who is an inmate at Mule Creek State Prison. This is a picture of him. It's a fairly recent picture, and he has a wonderful, that's the smile that he tries to have for the family and friends who visit him.
My name is Keith Watley, and I'm the founder and executive director at Uncommon Law. And that's a nonprofit that helps people serving life sentences, help them figure out how they ended up in prison and how to get out. And there are about 30 or 35,000 life sentenced prisoners in California right now. And that's a lot more than any other state. It's about 3 times as many as the state with the next highest number.
Damien received a life sentence along with another young man when he was 18 years old, and so was the other young man at the time. And at the time we felt it was supposed to be a 15 to life sentence, which would have allowed him to serve 7 years and at that point be considered for parole. However, it has been a much longer period of incarceration for Damien.
We have a system that claims to give people a chance to go to the parole board and to be released, but it doesn't actually support them in realizing that. And so when you show up at the parole board and you're opening up about, sometimes for the first time, about things that happened as a child, these career law enforcement lock-em-up types are not that supportive oftentimes. They can be abusive, they can harass, they can question, they can intimidate.
He had just made 18 2 months prior to the incident, and he has grown as a man. He takes responsibility for himself and his actions, and I think he's preparing himself well so that he can contribute to society on the outside, especially by being a good person, by working, by being a good family member. He's a father and grandfather.
There have been a lot of cases in which the parole board is denying parole to people who, by most objective measures, don't present any risk to public safety. And I see that the parole board often bases its decision on something that seems out of left field, seems to be unrelated to any risk, even any historical risk the person may have had.
His 9th parole hearing was held in July of this year, 2015. We really expected him to receive a date for parole at that time. The officer who wrote this up said that Damien had been warned or told about having his arm around either the shoulder or the waist of a female visitor. Damien nor his fiancée, who visited him that day, neither one of them remembered any of that happening. It seemed really a petty thing to bring up as a violation or as something which to deny him parole, especially when he had everything else in place.
It's the overwhelming majority, I think, of clients that I've worked with who've gone through the process a few times, been denied parole. They regularly report that the process is much tougher on their families and the families of their victims, frankly, than it is on them.
You know, it's one thing to take responsibility for something because it occurred, but it's another thing to kind of not know where this is going, you know. If Damien isn't ready for parole, then who is ready for parole?